her she gotta come try it. They wondering what I've been doing. I told them I'm keeping it quiet. I pull up, you know I be moving. Whipping the foreign, I'm cruising. The money I'm speaking is fluent. All of my business booming. Stacking my cash in abundance. All of my family funded. Finally got what I wanted. Life is amazing, I love it. Everyone know that I run it. Yeah, look at me now, I came up. I've been thinking back then when I almost gave up on the game, cause I never got it my way. Never got my mama whip on the driveway. I've been making all hits on a Friday. Back then I was getting like no plays. I'm never gonna change, no Kanye. Gotta get a Lambo like Green Bay. I made a lot, but then I gave a lot, and now I had enough. But I've been keeping up, and now I pay the price to what I'm dreaming of. I had to sacrifice, and now I see the love. Everything beautiful. Lucky I never got trapped in the cubicle. If I did it, then you can do it too. Just follow my moves. I pull up, you know I be moving. Whipping the foreign, I'm cruising. The money I'm speaking is fluent. All of my business booming. Stacking my cash in abundance. All of my family funded. Finally got what I wanted. Life is amazing, I love it. Everyone know that I run it. Yeah, my family home for the holidays. I'm in the studio cooking up music, cause I know I never got time to waste. This a decision I gotta make. Made it here, I can't stop now. Had to make what I got now. This a life I chose, seen the highs and lows. I've been getting what I want now. Middle finger to the middleman. Fuck what you posting on Instagram. Never been part of the fake shit. Everyone rapping, I swear that I hate it. Yeah, all of them wanna be famous. Give them a week and they fading. You buying a chain, I'm buying a crib, cause we not the same. I pull up, you know I be moving. Whipping the foreign, I'm cruising. The money I'm speaking is fluent. All of my business booming. Stacking my cash in abundance. All of my family funded. Finally got what I wanted. Life is amazing, I love it. Everyone know that I run it, yeah.
This is Reed Saunders, professional Colorado sports announcer.
1-0 to Ryan, drives it to right, going back, Puig, and it's gone!
You're tuning in to the Mile High Pundit Podcast.
Bones to Jokic, gone! Two-hand!
Follow us on Twitter at Mile High Pundit Podcast.
The Colorado Avalanche are Stanley Cup champions, and they will lift Lord Stanley a mile high!
Now, here's your hosts, Joel James and Jared Shuck.
We're back. Took us too damn long, like usual. Color me shocked. Color you shocked, really. And I'm not on hotel Wi-Fi. It looks like you are for once.
Hey, my Wi-Fi was indeed slow starting up here for once.
Hey, man, that's tough. That sounds like a major you problem. At least it's not hotel Wi-Fi, eh?
Yeah.
By the way, I said this to you in a text. I swear to God, if I have to change our intro again, because I love that clip. If I have to change our intro again, I'm trying to be polite. We have a special guest coming on. I'm trying to behave myself. If I have to change that intro again, I'm going to lose my mind. I swear I'm going to lose my mind.
It's such a gem, man. Just better times, I guess. But I mean, we can't really complain. Nuggets are in first place. It's I don't know. It's kind of one of those things. But yeah, super special guest tonight, guys. Super excited.
He's here. Just intro him already. Come on, let's go. He's here.
Yeah, I mean,
come on.
We're bringing in Jeremy Nicolls here from Denver Hoops and Dreams. You can catch their podcast on Apple Podcasts, as well as I think some other places as well. Jeremy, my man, what's up?
Yes,
how you doing?
Hey, man, I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
Good, buddy.
Hey, listen, I know, Jared, I just heard you talking about that intro. That intro is fire. I'm sitting here listening. I'm vibing to it. And then I heard the whole, was it Bones to Jokic or Jokic to Bones? I was like, I figured that's what you were talking about.
Yeah,
dude. Oh, my God. I can't tell you how many times I've had to edit that freaking thing. I mean, we had it with who was it? Who was the original intro? I'm going to have to go back and figure it out. But it was someone who left or got – Jeremy Grant.
Yeah,
it was
Grant for 3 during the bubble.
Yeah.
and I had to go change it. I was like, son of a bitch.
Yeah. Wow. Nah, but it's I appreciate you guys, bringing me on here. I know Joel, we've been talking for a little while, trying to get everything set up and all that. So, I'm glad we were able to get it done. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Jeremy, so and for those of you who guys are more on the hockey side of things, Jeremy's actually a big Blues fan.
Yes, sir.
But he's one of the respectable ones, guys.
Yeah.
So go easy on him. But
yeah, man, I've gotten enough flack from Avs fans on Twitter, man. Because as you guys already know, most Avs fans are linked to the Broncos and the Nuggets, which those teams I'm a fan of. So, but so most of them are my friends, so they kind of get like, they're not going to disrespect me, but I get some friendly jabs here and there. It's all right. Listen, man, that's how this stuff goes, right? So I get it.
For sure.
Don't worry, we won't hold it against you.
No, I appreciate that.
Complete trash
but,
can.
man,
And hey, by the way, you guys thought this was just a hockey channel? Wrong.
Yeah, dead wrong.
Told you.
Man, Jeremy, just to go back on what Jeremy said earlier, we've been trying to collaborate this for
a little while.
at least like a couple playoff runs now.
This is pre-5 GSN days. That's how long we've been trying to do this.
Yeah, it's been a minute for sure.
Yeah, but stoked to have you on, man. Excited to talk some Knicks basketball as well.
Yes,
Lots been going on recently, so
tell me about it.
Yeah, excited to get into it here. But man, I don't even know where to start really. They've just been on an otherworldly sort of tear recently in my eyes. We can get into like the bone stuff a little bit later, but man, just seeing how they're going forward as a team and winning those types of games that us as Nuggets fans were like, okay, I know this team gets up for good games, but can we just periodically, can we just always keep that mentality? And I feel like they're doing that just super well this year.
Mm-hmm. I agree. It's I mean, you guys have been Nuggets fans for a while too, so you understand, just like you were mentioning, you walk into some games and you kind of get a little, because even last year, I'll be honest, I won a lot of money betting against the Nuggets, and here's why. Because we know when the Nuggets are favorites and they're going against a team, let's just say like the Houston Rockets, who most people would deem as a bad team. Like last year in my mind, I'm like, yeah, but see, y'all don't understand. The Nuggets play down to the competition. So I was always betting against the Nuggets. So it was like a win-win situation. If the Nuggets win, I'm happy. If they lose, I make money. So there's always some type of bright side for me. But this year, it's not happening. I've tried it a couple of times, and every single time the Nuggets kept winning, and they're like, nope, you're not winning money off us this year. So I like it, man. I like the fact that they're taking all of their opponents seriously this year. And it's a nice change of pace.
Yeah. Is this just like how it feels, kind of just to be like in that upper echelon of teams to where you're just looking down at the West? And like, Jeremy, I was listening to y'all's last podcast just kind of on the way home today.
Right.
And I was just thinking to myself, like, is this kind of how it feels with, you've kind of got like the experts of the league saying the West is wide open.
Right.
I'm kind of on the track that it's wide open after Denver, because what we've constructed is just an absolute monstrosity, in my opinion. Like if I was a coach, I would not know how to guard that team. I'm gonna be straight up. Like there's they're so versatile now, and that's something that we really couldn't say even last year with what we put together. There's just a different level to them of versatility. Right. I feel like.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. It is. I mean, listen, you guys would know how it feels to be a team that has like a, that feel of dominance, looking at the Avs from the hockey side of things, and, seeing yourself go right into the playoffs. And I know, of course, you have some tough matchups here and there, but at the end, you guys still got it done, and I think, and of course, going into the season last year being maybe one or two like favorites to win it all. So, I mean, you guys should at least you got an understanding with that. I don't really know that too much. This is a different feeling for me. I mean, of course, 2019, that's a different situation, but we kind of came out of nowhere and got that done. But
What a run too! I was rooting for you guys against Boston through and through. I was like, I hope they could get it done. But.
Hey, listen, I kind of felt a little sorry for David Backus, for that whole situation. But hey, man, that is how it goes sometimes. You leave the team right before, then all of a sudden, boom, Stanley Cup. It's tough, man. But like I said, it is interesting to see how the Nuggets are maintaining. Right. And I'll be honest, I am very happy that John Morant said what he said, because he really made everybody turn up in the West, especially against the Grizzlies. So every time they play them, because the Nuggets had some scheduled losses in between there. And, you're thinking, all right, well, Memphis is probably going to catch up or at least get closer. No, they've just kept losing. So it's been a beautiful thing for the Nuggets for sure.
Yeah. I mean, even with last night's kind of schedule loss, you had the number 2 and 3 teams in the West still lose. So it's like we still maintain that. I think it's still 4.5, 5 games now. So
I'm loving it. I mean, like I said, it just makes sense for them now to keep this up. Of course, you play against the Minnesota Timberwolves again tomorrow. And I'm looking at from a betting side, I see the Nuggets are heavy favorites tomorrow. So of course that already means everybody's back. They're not about to play around tomorrow. So, and I think, you see a lot of Timberwolves fans talking trash because of course, they've won a few games against the Nuggets as of late, but see, the thing is they're not taking into consideration that every single time the Nuggets have been playing the Timberwolves, the Nuggets have been on the second night of a back-to-back every single time. And it just doesn't make sense. It's like, why are we scheduling losses for the Nuggets, man? What y'all got against the Nuggets?
Yeah. Like, just kind of the NBA in general. Like I get you have like a certain quota of games to fill and all that good stuff. But it's like, at the same time, man, you're getting off a late game too. Like that's a late finish in Denver, and you're having to fly up to Minnesota. You're probably getting in about 3 a.m. And like it's tough. I mean, KCP, Jokic, Murray, all those guys, they didn't even make the trip, and it was kind of just like, okay,
Aaron Gordon either,
yeah. So it's like we got to see kind of. What I was kind of excited about is we actually got to see this team kind of operate without those guys and see, how they would fare. And there were some surprises, to be honest. I mean, I thought Christian Brown played
really well. Absolutely. Yeah.
All things considered, but
Jeremy, who would you say is probably your surprise guy, like your surprise guy of the season? We're over the halfway point, obviously, at this point. But through this far, I mean, who's kind of your surprise guy? You're like, I didn't really expect him to show up and kind of pop out the way he did. Obviously, Christian Brown comes to mind.
Honestly, for me, it's Bruce Brown, because, but I wouldn't say I'm necessarily surprised. I will say that because I did watch a lot of like Brooklyn games last year, and I did see Bruce Brown play really well within that system. I just kind of already knew he was really versatile, the way he would rebound and pass the ball. But I'll tell you, I wasn't surprised that he has been playing well, but I have been surprised at how efficient he's been with like running an offense. Like I didn't really see him much as a backup point guard. I didn't see that. I just saw, a wing defender. So in my opinion, he was like a shooting guard, small forward that could defend bigger guys and move around and, get in the passing lanes and stuff like that. But I didn't necessarily know that he had the ability to like run an offense, right? Like even in small sample sizes. So I think for me, Bruce Brown is probably my most surprising Nuggets player. I mean, everybody else is kind of doing what we expected. Of course, Jamal Murray, we know what he's capable of. Aaron Gordon is really picking up his role as, he's really good as the fourth option, because all he has to do is just use his athleticism and just do what comes natural. But yeah, I do like Christian Brown a whole lot. I really think I think Bruce Brown and Christian Brown, I think they both have something, of course. And I love the fact that KCP has just been hitting lights out from three. So I'm loving that, man. I like the pickups that the Nuggets have had in the offseason. Honestly, all of them. Maybe not DeAndre Jordan that much, but the other guys. Yeah, the other guys.
Yeah, for sure. It's like I look back at Bruce Brown and his Brooklyn days, to your point, Jeremy, and they almost utilized him wrong. Like
They did.
you know, they kind of got the fact that he was a good cutter, and KD was able to find him under the basket, like during their playoff run.
Right.
But it's like they when they were just the way that they utilized him, he's so much better just at that, like either two spot, like you were saying. And he's even said it himself, to where he's like, I feel a lot more comfortable being in that in that role as well. So but yeah, like all those guys, man, it's just, it's so astounding to me that Denver, it's not like they're a high volume 3-point shooting team. I think they're like bottom half in the league as far as like just amount of threes that they take. But just the fact that they're the best 3-point shooting team in the NBA, it's at or near the top essentially, as we're like going down the stretch. It's just so great to see, like KCP. You can't really say enough about what MPJ's done as well. Like, man, it's just everything that we could have sort of hoped and dreamed for, I guess, with Jamal Murray getting back too. And
he's back now.
Yeah,
there's no doubt in my mind he is back now.
Because the last time Jared and I talked some Nuggets on either the episode or the previous episode
at length, at least.
Yeah, pretty at length. It was like, all these people that say, Jamal Murray's back in bubble form, we feel like that's a disrespect to Jamal Murray now.
Right. Yeah.
What he's doing.
I agree.
So
yeah, he's definitely shown the capability to just be a good basketball player, regardless of where it's located, right? And I think, it just kind of became popular to say Bubble Murray because, of course, he did some outrageous things, with the was it back-to-back 50 with the duel with him and Donovan Mitchell, and then 40 in Game 7 against the Clippers, and like he was just on another level. So I get why it became a thing, but we also have to understand that was not the first time that he scored 40. He did it prior to the bubble, and then after the bubble, even before the injury, he did it again. So it's like, you can't, like, there's a lot of things that, but then again, this is the internet, right? So once you get labeled something, especially on Twitter, it's over. You're just you're stuck with that.
Poor Swappa, man. He's just got the moniker of Nugget Stan at this point. Jokic Stan too. Like, it's a Jokic fan account. It seems like he just gets blasted all the time.
Yeah, that's how it is, man. Once you get stuck with something on Twitter. So I think for me, like, that's why I just, I then again, I really don't get in too much stuff, but I do make my points, right? Like, I make sure that I say what I need to say. And sometimes, people have an issue with it. Listen, man, you know where to find me. I'm always there. I mean, as long as we keep it basketball, I'm cool with it. We can have a conversation. It's just, from our, my last episode with Denver Hoops and Dreams, we were talking about, like how certain people try to take it to another level with disrespect and stuff. It's just so unnecessary, man. Just keep it basketball. That's what we're here for.
It's like the people on Twitter are trying to dunk more than the people in the NBA. It's getting kind of ridiculous. Like, that's what NBA
is. A little crazy. Yeah, absolutely.
Like I had people in my feed, and I don't know who like retweeted it or who liked something in that feed, but it was like, I came across a feed where it was like they were using Jokic's efficiency as a bad thing. They're like, oh, he's an efficiency merchant.
Efficiency merchant. I did see that. That is ridiculous.
Like, what does that even mean?
That's like calling Kilmacar a Corsi hero. Like,
it's like
listen, when the second I saw that, I was just like, yeah, I'm done with these trolls and stuff, because that made no sense to me. So you're telling me that, because I saw somebody try to justify why is it that Joel Embiid doesn't shoot as well as Jokic, right? And their breakdown and their reasoning was this. Well, Joel Embiid has to take more difficult shots at the end of a game because, in his opinion, he's the alpha dog on the team. So that makes it like, and I'm sitting there like, what exactly are you talking about? I've seen Jokic shoot shots off of 1 foot. There's a shot. He actually has a shot called the Sombor Shuffle where he purposely shoots off 1 foot, which is not an easy shot to make. Now, of course, he could choose not to do it that way and shoot easier shots, but no, he does. Like, he has a patented difficult shot that goes in very often. So Jokic is now being criticized because he's good at his job. How does that work? I don't get it.
Yeah. It doesn't make it. It's astounding to me that just even the amount of trolls too that you just now see, especially after Jokic is an MVP and is going to win MVP again. If he doesn't, something's fucking wrong.
Yeah,
I mean, it's hilarious to look. I one of the more telling things really quickly too. Does anybody remember the Nuggets home record last year?
I don't remember the exact number, but they might already have been like at that right now. Like the amount of wins, they might be very close, if not have already surpassed it.
They beaten it.
Yeah. Wow.
Beaten it.
That's pretty crazy.
They were 23-18 at home last year through, what is this, 54 games? If math does not fail me today. They're 25-4 at Ball Arena. And I know I brought this up the last time with Joel, and I'm just going to reiterate again. It just reminds me so much of the Avs last year at home. You couldn't beat the Avs at home last year. You really can't beat the Nuggets in Denver right now. That place is sold out, 18,000 plus.
Oh yeah, I saw it the other night.
I remember going to a game like what? Oh god, it had to be 13 or 14, and they were still wearing. That's aggressive. They were still wearing the powder blues. I might have to shut that door. Holy crap, Washer, chill out. They're still wearing the powder blue uniforms too, just to give you any idea of how long this was. And we were down in the first deck, maybe like 6 rows up from floor level, and it was $20 tickets. Dude, you can't find a $20 ticket to watch probably one of the greatest shows right now.
I mean, yeah. So Jeremy, like, you went to the Warriors game, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Man, how just, because I've been hearing it's standing room only, like it's packed to the point where like people are flooding in, like, you know, just common areas to just be there for the experience. Like, it's something that I think all of us can kind of say that it hasn't been that type of vibe. I don't know. Like, we'll let you kind of go into like your experience there for the.
It was I'll tell you, it was a lot of fun, of course, you know, with the Nuggets winning, but just the overall ambiance of the place, it definitely changed a lot. You know, similar to what Jared just mentioned. Like, I was telling them on the pod, you know, when I first moved to Colorado in 2015, the first game that I went to, the Nuggets played, I believe it was the Pelicans that night. And I'm talking about, there were so many empty seats in that arena, so many. It was just like, man, nobody's even.
Looked like a Rockies game.
Yeah, but I mean, of course, this was like the team with like I believe Darrell Arthur was on there. I think this was like the last-ish year of like Ty Lawson, maybe so Randy Foy. Like, it was a couple of those guys still kind of on the
Iguodala time too.
It was like
Iguodala had left. Iguodala had left right before that. Yeah. And then I also went to the Nuggets versus the Warriors that year as well. And this was when the Warriors dynasty was just starting, right? So I went to a home game, and I'm sitting there like, are we in – where's this? Is this in Denver? Because they don't feel like Denver. The second the Warriors would score, the entire place erupted. And then the Nuggets – you hear the Nuggets, and you're just hearing like these little claps in the crowd. It was like, man, this is tough. This is tough, man. So at that moment – you know, kind of having that comparison to see how it is now, you are absolutely correct in saying the place is packed. It is packed. And when Jokic did this, he did this baseline pass to KCP, you know, for this layup, man, just that move alone, like you heard the ooze of that pass. You heard the ahs when KCP scored, and then the whole place just went crazy. So for me, just kind of being there, because I'll be honest, it's been a while since I've been to a home game. It was definitely like pre-COVID, like, you know, pre-pandemic. It was been a little while. But being able to go, man, it was cool, man. It was a lot of fun, but you are correct. It is packed in there.
Yeah, it's like, because going back to that Warriors series, my dad actually got tickets from his work.
Oh, nice.
And we were able to go see this is back when I was still living in Colorado Springs, but we were able to go see. It was game 1, and it was little baby Steph Curry, and we won that first game at home, and then we lost it. And I want to say we were like a 3 seed that year.
Oh, we were a 3 seed. That's when we won. We won 57 games, I believe. It was an insane year, and I remember that clearly because I remember the report came out about David Lee like being injured and not playing. So the Nuggets are planning a whole different game plan, and all of a sudden, game day, David Lee is in the starting lineup, and I'm like, wait, what? Yeah. So at that moment, I was like, man, they playing mind games too. So they had started it then. But I knew they were already playing dirty. So at that moment, that was tough, man. But I'll always say, had we had a healthy Danilo Gallinari going into that series, I think that would have gone differently. It's just we didn't have enough firepower anymore, man. We just did not have it. Yeah,
because we had, that was a good team, like you were saying, like 57 wins. Like they and they actually played pretty good defense too with Iguodala, and it's like that game they won in overtime, but it was like there was more, like you were saying, like there's more like Warriors-based people there than like Nuggets-based people. So it's really cool to see just like that switch,
right?
And sort of like the whole city kind of just like sort of fall in behind this Nuggets team. It's like, man, when we drafted Jamal Murray and when we started to get just that original sort of core together, and then we were getting MPJ, and then we like just all these pieces coalescing in just like a championship core, which we've known in Denver for years now, but it's just like getting that timing right is so tough with all the injuries and stuff. But like, man, just watching them, it's like you almost want there to be more games in the season so you can keep watching them play. That's like the best way I can describe them, I guess.
Correct.
Here's kind of the bigger pressing thing. I'm not going to talk about the Bones thing. I'm really not. It seems like it's a bunch of smoke and fire, and I don't know how much of it's real, how much of it's bullshit at this point. Because you saw Jamal and Bones yucking it up, and then Bones' family members, it looks like, had to literally put their accounts on private because they were getting flamed so damn hard.
Jeremy got blocked by his sister.
Yeah. And I didn't do anything. I said nothing.
Yeah. Okay. We'll go check the receipts.
No, please do. And the funny thing is, like, I actually welcomed that to people the other day, right? Because, like, if you can really check my feed, like, I had never said a bad word about Bones because I'm like a pro Bones guy. Like I like him. I think he's talented. He brings when he hits those threes, and I like the fact that the Nuggets have a player that has that ability, especially off the bench. But just like everybody else, I'm getting online and I'm asking the questions. I remember one of my tweets really blew up and it had a like crazy engagement on it. And that could have been the reason because like it was seen by so many people and it had like hundreds of comments where all I did was ask, hey, I'm seeing the rumors about Bones. What do you guys think? That's literally all I said. And then I clipped up like a piece of the podcast when I was actually talking about Bones and I put it on Twitter and I was like, can somebody please listen to this and tell me if I said something that was offensive in any way? Please let me know. If you hear it, let me know. But no, I just think it's the fact that, just being able to kind of talk to so many people at the same time. I think that maybe she just saw my name on there, maybe searching for his name or something like that, and saw my name pop up, and she was like, "Nah, I'm not doing it." But it wasn't based on anything I said. It was just, I don't know. She just probably just saw me. It was just a straight bullet, man. It was straight.
It's one of those things. Like, Jeremy's one of those guys, man. Like, he's like a great follow on Twitter. If you guys haven't followed him already, like, give him a follow.
I appreciate that.
If you need it, it's right next to his name on the screen. So don't be shy. It's okay. It's right there.
But it's, like you said, like, it wasn't really like we all knew that Bones kind of wanted more minutes. That's kind of what we know publicly is Bones wants more minutes. When he already has a pretty high usage rate. So it's like, okay, like it's just one of those things, like as a young man, you have to kind of learn that if you want to be a part of this group, because they're primed to win it all right now, like we've been saying for the past 30 minutes. They've done what they needed to do. They've like survived the trials. It's so just, it's tough when it's not Bones that's coming out like this, like you're saying. It's family members and people that are in his sort of inner circle, which,
right.
you know, you can support your boy. Like, I love Bones. Like, you know, like you said, great energy off the bench. He's one of those guys that, like, I get giddy when I watch him play. Like, if a Bones shot goes in, and Jared and I have talked about this, you know, previously as well. Like, it's like, okay, like, he could either get super, super hot right now, because we all remember, you know, in October, November, when they were running teams off the court with him, it would only take, like, you know, a couple minutes, and all of a sudden the Nuggets are up 20 and it's timeout. Like, we've seen the upside with them. It's just,
absolutely,
can you get him to buy into that overarching? And it's so tough too, because it's like you're dealing with like team culture at this point. And with his family kind of coming out and taking shots at Jamal Murray, like, that doesn't help things. I mean, it might help things for Nuggets fans, because a motivated Jamal Murray is that much more dangerous. I mean, I don't think it's a coincidence that, like, you know, because he's on Twitter, like, he sees all this stuff. Like,
of course, yeah. He made a couple of tweets about it, and he got attacked for it too.
Yeah, and I don't even think those tweets were like necessarily about Bones. Like,
but let's be real. Let's be real, though. Let's be real. Jamal Murray knew exactly what he was doing when he posted those. He, like he is not naive. He's not. He knew what it was. And that's why he was just like, all right, you know what? Let me add a little fuel to this fire. But the thing is, with him, the fuel to the fire actually helps him. He is one of those guys, like, he is, you know, I'm not going to compare him to a Kobe Bryant necessarily, but a lot of those guys, when they have that personal, you know, that personal gripe against something or someone, he is one of those guys who can actually act on that. Like, think about when the Nuggets, this was maybe two games ago versus the Portland Trail Blazers, not overall in the schedule, but against the Blazers. And the Nuggets were winning right at the end, and Damian Lillard hit this three, and then he walked down and did the Dame time thing. At that very moment, the camera panned to the Nuggets bench when they called a timeout, and you saw Jamal Murray's face. He's looking down. He's kind of shaking his head up and down like, yeah, I know what's about to happen. And him hitting the game winner, and that it showed me exactly the player that he is. And we saw it. I mean, we know what he's capable of, right? So, you know, I think when he dropped 48 points against Kyrie Irving when he played for the Celtics, at that moment I knew Jamal Murray was a dog, because he tried to hit that shot at the end and get 50, and then Kyrie didn't like it and threw the ball in the crowd. You know, it's you know, so I already knew, and I believe he like dribble the ball around like Lonzo Ball one time, and then like the whole Lakers bench got up and wanted to fight. So I knew the type of guy that he was. Like, Jamal Murray welcomes that type of energy because he can back it up. And I think that is why he is the perfect complement to Nikola Jokic, because Jokic is not like that. Like, he's not looking for trouble. He will answer the call if he feels like it's necessary, but he knows that Jamal Murray is the one that wants to smoke. He wants it, you know. So listen, man, that whole Bones situation, of course, it's unfortunate. We will see. I truly believe he's going to get traded. I just think at this point, it's kind of a situation where you can't really fix it. At least that's the way I see it. Of course, he could possibly still be on the team after the trade deadline. But the fact that he didn't play at all last night against the Timberwolves, that to me was kind of like, I mean, this makes a lot of sense. Like, this was the game you needed him without everybody else. This is the game you just throw Bones out there and just let him have fun. The fact that he didn't play at all, it just made me think, wait, maybe they're trying not to get him injured, or maybe something, you know, it just seems like there's something cooking. And of course, you saw the reports today about the Chicago Bulls potentially being interested in Bones. And I actually would not mind making a trade with that team, because I would love the Nuggets to make a trade with an Eastern Conference team as opposed to a Western.
Nice.
And if
all
we
these
can,
Minnesota rumors are kind of scaring me. Like,
I don't want to see Bones on the Timberwolves. I don't want to see that at all. But it'll be
Or
interesting
even
to
Utah
see.
for that matter, man.
Just nobody in the West and definitely nobody in the division.
yeah, like
I'm good on that.
trade him to like a
by the way,
Charlotte or
if Bones
something.
wants more minutes, shoot better than 39%.
Yeah.
There you go.
It will come down to better play. Absolutely.
He's literally third to last. He's 14th out of 16 players. Thank you, Basketball Reference, for being so very well updated.
Hey.
39.9% from the field. That's everything. He's shooting just about 38% from three. But I mean, when you got other guys like MPJ who's shooting 40% from three, 49% from the field, I mean, you have better options, really.
You do, yeah.
And while MPJ doesn't have the quote unquote experience because he's been hurt, the dude's a legit baller. I mean, he comes out and he just wants to he wants to find the open space. You give him it reminds me so much of just really, really good soccer players. You give a good soccer player half a yard, he's gonna destroy you. You give MPJ 6 inches, he's gonna drop one right in your face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he sure will.
With MPJ, man, it's I mean, Jared, I get your point for sure, but he just in the experience part of it, he's gone through so much. Just with everything. I mean, this guy was touted as like a top 2 to top 1 type prodigy pick before his back stuff at Missouri happened. My cousin who happened to go to Missouri at the time was like, dude, Michael Porter Jr., like, when the Nuggets drafted Michael Porter Jr., he was ecstatic. He was like, this dude's going to be like him. Right. If he can get healthy. And, we heard the announcers kind of talk about it during the Clippers bubble series. Clippers passed on this guy. So many teams passed on
twice.
This guy. Yeah. Like, if that doesn't put like a chip on your shoulder, like, I don't know what will. And
every time he plays the Clippers, I can see it.
Yeah.
I can see it every time. Yeah.
Like, and it's not to say like, Porter's a guy that plays with a big chip on his shoulder, but just what he's gone through with his injuries and how he's been able to withstand the critics, because there was a time where, kind of similar to this Bones situation, his dad came out and said, hey, like, we need to get him more looks in the playoffs type thing. Like, it was, I think, during the Utah series when things weren't going so well for him. But just to look back on all that now and see just the gauntlet of stuff that he's gone through, because he was in Malone's doghouse as well, because
for sure
he couldn't defend at all. He was an enigma, but he couldn't defend. And then from there, it's like you see him develop into right now and what he's doing, getting chased down blocks.
That block the other night was nasty.
Yeah.
That was nasty.
Like,
I wish I could watch any of the games, but the NBA doesn't have a partnership with ESPN Plus or anything like that.
That is still so unfortunate, man.
Luckily, I live in Texas now, so I can watch just about damn near everything.
Right.
I mean, you can really watch anything with a VPN and some Jack Sparrow websites, but
I mean, yeah. Hey, listen, man. I'll tell you this. I have never missed a Nuggets game. Take that for what you will. Jeez. It don't matter if I'm out the house or I'm at home. I don't miss games. It is what it is. I don't care this dispute thing. It's not gonna stop me from watching my team. So I'm sorry. Whatever.
Yep, I will hop aboard the ship, as they say, because I'm the same way. I'm just like, I will find a way to watch them.
Got to, man.
Because it's like the people that don't know what team we have here, it's just like, it's crazy. Like the people who don't get to watch them every night, I feel bad for, like, legitimately. So
it sucks. So trade deadline's what, 3 days away at this point, since we're recording on February 6th. Yeah. Kyrie's off the board, which no one really cares about. He's actually coming down south.
Your neck of the woods. Yeah.
Way too damn much in return, in my opinion.
Hey, to that, I will say, and this was kind of delayed, but
yeah, you're 39 minutes delayed, actually. Good job, Chief. That's a first like 3 minutes, 2 minutes kind of deal. Damn you.
Yeah. I kind of missed on
who's kind of everybody's number one target right now? I mean, obviously we know Jeremy, you want him to go. You want whoever it is, probably Bones, is, in all honesty, is who's going to get traded. You want him to go to the East. In perfect world, who does Denver pick up?
Ooh, well, right now, based on the team that we were just talking about with the Chicago Bulls, I even mentioned it on Twitter today. I do like the idea of finding a way to get Alex Caruso, right? And the reason I'm saying that is because, to me, Alex Caruso is a more polished version of Christian Braun because he does a lot of similar things. They're both, they're both guys who like their game is predicated on hustle. They hustle, they play defense. Of course, Alex Caruso, like I've seen him pick up players 94 feet. So he has that ability to lock down. And I think he fits right in, I think he could just get minutes immediately, just off his style of play. He may not be the best shooter, but neither is Christian Braun, right? Like, obviously he has the ability. Last night he hit a couple threes. So I like Alex Caruso, also staying in the East. I do like the idea of, obviously they'll have to give up more for him, but finding a way to maybe look at maybe OG Anunoby. I like OG a whole lot from the Raptors, and even Gary Trent from the Raptors. I think he would also fit really well with this Nuggets team, being a high percentage 3-point shooter, as well as with the ability to defend. We saw him when he played on the Blazers. He had some really good games against the Nuggets, right? So I think right now, staying with the East, I think those three guys right now are kind of like my favorite targets. I mean, there are other guys around the league, but I think being realistic with what the Nuggets can get, because of course they're not going to trade their core, so it's just like other guys. But you got to look at what you can get. But yeah, I think those are the guys I would probably pay attention to. For sure.
I mean, I wouldn't just even hate just getting draft picks back for Bones.
Yeah,
I mean, really.
Then you could just sign a player just to fill that roster spot,
right? And I mean, do you even run the risk of possibly messing up the chemistry you already have that's gotten you your best home record in literally years?
Yeah, since 2013 for sure. Because did y'all speaking of 2013, do y'all remember how many wins the Nuggets had that year?
2013?
No, but Google will tell me.
2013, they won 57 games.
Yeah, 57.
They only lost 3 games at home all season. 38-3. Like that
couldn't win with a shit on the road.
No, not at all. They were horrible on the road, but at home they were unbeatable until they got to the playoffs. But that was without Gallo, so I give them a pass for that. So, and of course, depending on if you believe George Karl or not, of course, that whole series had a lot more to it than just basketball.
Yeah.
So hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's like with Denver right now, they're in a spot like Jared was saying where they can just kind of like, you've done kind of the work to take it easy for a few games. Like you've earned those nights off. Like the night off that we just experienced last night, you've earned that.
Right.
To rest your guys. And we also haven't gotten into this yet. Are you guys surprised that we only have one All-Star this year?
I am. I mean, it depends on what the criteria is, right? I feel like as a number one team, you should at least have 2 guys. At least that's the way I see it, especially when I think Aaron Gordon should have at least been more considered. But of course, when you start to take into account the fan votes, he's not really popular to the casual fan, right? He's just not, because let's be real, those casual fans are more so Lakers fans, Warriors fans, like those popular, right? Yeah, like they're those top teams. Like you saw, I mean, Kevon Looney, I believe, had more votes than Aaron Gordon. Andrew Wiggins did as well. Like these are players who, man, stop it. Like I don't care what they did last year. That does not matter when it comes to this year, but fans are that's how fans are. They're going to vote for who they like as opposed to seeing what's actually happening in the league. None of that matters to fans. It's just they're going to vote for their guys. I mean, I've seen Nuggets fans do it. I've seen Nuggets fans do, all-star stuff and then post it on Twitter, and it's just all Nuggets fans. I saw like Zeke Naji and all types of people on there like, bro, stop. Yeah. Like, what are y'all talking about?
That's like trying to get like a Matt Nieto to the All-Star game. Like,
it doesn't
there's homers and then there's those people. Like, it's
but it counts though. Like it really adds up, when people do that. So, it is what it is. I mean, I would have loved to see one more All-Star on there, but hey, chip on your shoulder, Aaron Gordon, get healthy, take it out on the league the rest of the year, make them pay. And when you get to the playoffs, that's when it's going to matter.
Yeah. And I'm kind of happy about, well, not like happy about it, but like I'm like, okay, like, you know, like you said, Jeremy, you know, that's another chip to add. And it also kind of strengthens, I think, the Nuggets' case for Malone to finally win a Coach of the Year.
It's very possible now.
If he's coaching in the All-Star game with only one All-Star and that dude is the MVP of the league, like you gotta give. I feel like the writing's on the wall for him to actually finally win it this year, which would be really cool.
Very, very possible. Absolutely, especially if they maintain that number one seed. Yeah, I think it'll be him.
Yeah, real quick, over under 60 wins for this team.
Ooh. I'll be honest. I think because of the load management and stuff, I think it'll be under.
There's only 20 games left too.
Yeah. It'll be tough.
What?
And
23 and 28.
23
or 23 and 5.
Yeah, I mean it's possible if load management wasn't a thing, but it is a thing, as we can clearly see around the league. So I think they'll probably end at about maybe like 55. I think that'll probably be the 55 or 56, right around there. And then, you know, go into the playoffs with home court advantage. And I think that's all they'll need, especially if everybody remains healthy. Oh, it's going to get ugly for the league, man.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just relishing.
And they still got 3 back-to-backs coming up, too.
Yeah.
So throughout the rest of the year, they still got 3 back-to-backs, which and NBA, NHL, pitting Colorado teams against Minnesota teams on the second half of back-to-back. What,
man? Somebody's doing that on purpose, man. You need to talk to somebody about
Batman
that.
and Silver are just like this right now. It's like, all right,
man,
we get it.
I'm relishing the opportunity to play some of these teams again after just, you know, everyone from slandering Jokic's MVP years by his playoff numbers, which he gets better in the playoffs. It's ridiculous for one.
They don't care about that though. They don't the problem is you're bringing up actual facts. Yeah. You're bringing up logic. You're like, people don't function in logic on social media. They function in whatever they believe.
Or in real life, most times it feels like
they're right. All they see is, Jokic must really be terrible since the Nuggets haven't won a series in a couple of years. But you got to think about the actual facts of why that is. And these are coming from Warriors fans. And you know, I was telling my guys, it's like, when I talk to Warriors fans, my response is always the same. Like, if you are really talking about the fact that you beat the Nuggets last year, missing 2 starters, can you please explain to me what happened when the Warriors were without 2 starters for 2 seasons? They didn't even make the play-in. So you can't, like, you talk trash and you criticize Nikola Jokic, but the Nikola Jokic has never played in a play-in game.
Yeah.
Like he's made the playoffs legitimately without other all-stars, without any real legitimate help, right? So it's always interesting to hear people criticize just because their team is healthy now. But come on, you gotta, like, when your team isn't healthy, y'all not even getting to the dance. You're not even invited to the dance. So stop it, man. Stop.
Yeah. When Jared and I were talking about it, just like the Warriors series previously, both of us were kind of on the same thought train, to where, like, you look at that series in a microcosm and it's like last 3 games, you lose by a combined 4 points, right?
Right.
Total. And we're both on the same sort of track, to where if you even add like a Michael Porter Jr. who's playing at his level right now, or a Jamal Murray who's playing at this level right now to that series, it goes at least 7 games.
50% Jamal Murray gets you 2 more wins.
Yeah.
50%.
Easily. Like, it's
not
it's
even
almost
close.
like, yeah. And then you look at the team. I mean, they still had Bryn Forbes, man. They had, it's crazy to think about, just, you know, all that stuff. all that stuff moving forward here. Like,
man.
It's just, I'm very excited to play some of these teams again, that we now get the chance to prove ourselves. Like, my dream sort of playoff run for the Nuggets right now is we get like a Dallas in the first round, so I can go down and see Jared and catch like a game on the road. That'd be really
Wait,
cool.
hold on, wait, stop, hold on. Imagine this though: Nuggets, Mavericks, Avs, Stars.
just doubling up on the Dallas, huh?
Hey.
Okay.
I would literally clear my schedule for the entire week and be like, "Hey, honey, guess what we're doing tonight? We're gonna go watch the Nuggets play, and then tomorrow night we're gonna go watch the Avs play, and
Hey,
then
that
we're
would
gonna go
be
back down
cool.
again and watch the Nuggets play, and then we're gonna watch the Avs play again, and watch them destroy Dallas in 4 games."
Yeah,
that would.
And the Nuggets.
Can you imagine both teams, like the Avs and the Nuggets, like both like sweeping both Dallas teams? That would be pretty insane.
That would just.
Yeah.
But between that and just seeing how this state just dissolved after their kicker went 1 of 5 in the playoffs.
That was pretty. Listen, for him to do that, I mean, you really have one job, seriously, and to do that and to consistently miss like that. Oh gosh,
Dude, I'll give you one and be like, okay, maybe he caught it weird. The laces were never toward him. There was nothing affecting that kick.
He was just straight up missing it.
My father, he loves to give me shit because I was a kicker in high school for 1 year. He loves to give me shit every single time something stupid happens to the kicker. He goes, oh, look, those damn kickers can't do their one job. I'm like, dude, look at the laces for 1. Okay, the laces were in. 2, great hold. Like, come on. But yeah. 1 of 5, no, you get no pass.
Yeah,
tough sledding, man. Tough sledding. But if the Nuggets could get like a Dallas team, and then either like there's 3 teams really that I really want to play in like a 2 series window, which is tough. But like if you could get a combination of like the Suns and the Clippers, or the Clippers and the Warriors, I'd take that. Like, just play the teams that like that we haven't got the chance. Like I would kill for a Suns playoff series.
I would too. I would too. I think the Nuggets need that revenge. They need to get that out the way. You mentioned it too. I would not mind playing the Clippers again. But for them, they're going to be the ones that want that revenge. But honestly, Jokic is going to destroy them, because it doesn't matter how good Kawhi is, how good Paul George is. There is nobody on that team that can Zubats can have his games from time to time, but defensively, he's going to get eaten alive by Jokic. Like Jokic, every time he plays the Clippers, I'm like, oh yeah, it's either a triple-double or he's dropping like 40. It's just one of those 2 things that happen. So I think, and of course with Jamal Murray back, who is going to stop him? Explain that to me. Paul George, Kawhi, stop. Jamal Murray has already proven that he can cook both of them. They don't have Patrick Beverley anymore, who was getting lit up by Jamal Murray as well. Of course, now with Michael Porter out there, I mean, stop. It's just no.
Add AG at the 4. Oh yeah, you're
right. Like, man, stop it. The Nuggets they'll beat the Clippers, they'll beat the Suns. Honestly, I mean, I think this is the year that I think I need the Nuggets to play the Warriors and beat them in the playoffs. You got to get that monkey off your back. You have to, because that's the team. They've beaten them a couple of times. This is kind of like, the Nuggets of the early 2000s with the Carmelo team. Like, you play the Lakers a couple of times and you lose. You play the Spurs a couple of times and you lose. Like, those teams beat you multiple times, and you kind of. I mean, of course, we never got a chance to really get that get back. Like those. Of course, you beat the Spurs in 2019 with DeMar DeRozan, but does that feel the same as beating a team with Tim Duncan on it? No. So. But we'll see, man. I'm very confident as long as the Nuggets stay healthy. I think they get to the finals. I'll be honest with you.
Give me Portland, who comes out of the play-in as the bottom seed, and I just want to see them roll Portland in 4, just to fucking smile about it. And hey, it took 55 minutes for me to drop the first F-bomb of the night. That's pretty good, all right? It slid. I went, all right, well, there it goes.
Hey,
almost had it.
We're getting better.
Almost had it. Just wait till playoffs come around. Oh boy, that's
man.
It don't matter what it is. It's
this team
night.
Stays healthy. Like this team stays healthy. They do.
Yeah, they have the potential to win it all. They absolutely do.
Like,
I mean, even does Memphis really even scare anybody?
No.
No.
They talk too much.
32-21 is beyond me.
Yeah, that team they talk too much.
Didn't Ja get in a fight the other night too?
Yeah, like something else
with
with the Pacers. It was Ja. Well, of course, Dylan Brooks got into it with Mo Bamba from the Magic, but then after the game against the Pacers, like Ja had some, and I'm talking about it today on Undisputed, where Ja had some situation where he was in a car, and then like there was a red beam that came out of that car towards some Pacers players, and like some security guard said it was allegedly a weapon, and it's like, dude, what is with all this stuff off the court? After he made that statement about the West is fine, Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies have been in hell. They've been in hell. It has been tough. They've lost to every single Western Conference team ever since that statement.
2-8 in their last 10.
Yep.
I mean, they said it right before they played the Nuggets. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like in an interview, like pre-game or like right.
Well,
before
I believe it might have been right after.
Yeah.
I think, but no, you might be right. No, I think you're right. But either way, the Nuggets smacked them, and it was just like,
them. And I think
sure it's the right time to be saying that.
Yeah, I think we sat Jamal Murray that game too, and we held him to like 40. Like second quarter, we were up like 60 to 48. Some like we were like, you guys want a defensive game? Like we'll give you a defensive game. Like I think that's the main difference between the Nuggets this year. Like this year as opposed to previous years. Jeremy, you got to see it live, which I'm super jealous. But that Warriors game, like. It was a track meet up until halftime, and then it must.
I was worried. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. I was kind of worried because I was telling my guys too. Because I mentor these boys, right? And I took them to that game, and half of my group. So I got 9 boys with me. Half of them are Warriors fans, right? So I'm sitting there getting chirped at halftime. Mind you, I'm buying these kids food, which was obviously crazy anyway. But I'm buying them food. And they're chirping at me like, man, Steph Curry is gonna cook the Nuggets, and y'all suck, and Jordan Poole is gonna. You saw what Jordan Poole is doing to y'all, and all I did was say, "We'll see." And I watched their facial expressions the second half when the Nuggets just started hitting threes, and Jokic started to take over, and I'm just looking to my left, watching their faces, and they're sitting back in their seats, and they just look like, man, this stinks. They're not cheering anymore. So on the van ride back to Colorado Springs, I'm gonna tell you, I was like, so what's with all that talking y'all was doing in the first half? What's with all that? Now, mind you, these are 10-year-old kids, right? So of course I gotta chill, but it was just funny because they were doing it to me. They're like, man, we gonna talk about him, but no, that second half was unbelievable, right? Just watching how quickly, because I'll be honest, I saw the score and I was like, okay, they're up 5. Okay, now it's 7. Now it's 18. 22. Bro, what is happening? They just are not missing, and they started to play legitimate championship defense, and it was over from there, man.
They can just flip the switch. Like it's
a scary
awesome
team
to see them do that.
Jeremy, I got one last one for you.
Yes, sir.
That has nothing to do with basketball.
All right.
Favorite place to eat in Colorado Springs?
Ooh, favorite place to eat. I was just having this conversation with somebody recently. There is. I don't even know how to pronounce it. It'll be terrible. But there is a Mexican restaurant that's on South Nevada, right? I believe it's something Arceo's or something like that.
Oh,
I
know exactly what you're talking about.
They have some of the most amazing quesadillas. They are, when I tell you, they do them justice. So if you ever want some good quesadillas, that is the spot. But their food is so fresh, man. Like every time I go there, it's just unbelievable. So as of right now, that's probably it. I mean, I do a lot of cooking myself, so I really don't go out to a lot of different places. Being a dad, like you gotta cook, but that if I had to pick one place, that would probably be it. That Mexican restaurant. I got to get the right pronunciation. But it's their food is amazing.
Is that off of Nevada and Fillmore? Is that
where
it is? Yeah,
exactly. Yes, it is. Mm-hmm.
I was trying to remember. I was like, I know where that is, and I cannot think of it for the life of me.
Man.
I see it too. It's got all the different colors on the building.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh man. Okay, Joel, what's yours? I don't think I've ever asked you this question. So
favorite place to eat in the Springs?
Yeah, since we're both Springs kids, I mean,
yeah. That's a good question. I always liked the menu at Phantom Canyon downtown before they changed it.
I have no idea where that is.
It's like a little brewery eatery place off Tejon, like around there. And but like as a sit down place, but if you're going to like something just like fast or casual, I got to plug our boy Kevin, Skirted Heifer, man.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for a good burger, Skirted Heifer in Colorado Springs. They cook the cheese on the outside of the burger. It's so good. So
what's the pizza place called? I forget the name of the pizza places.
Bambino's.
Bambino's, that's right.
Yeah. Or no, they changed it. It's now like Bambino's Urban Pizzeria.
Yeah, something like
that. Yeah. So
Jeremy, how long have you been in the Springs for? Sorry, I'm probably asking too many weird questions.
2.5 years.
Okay, so you definitely would not know this place.
Nah, so, I'll be honest, man. I haven't, like I said, I'm more of a homebody because I do a lot of work from home and stuff. So I rarely get a chance to really get out and go to different restaurants. I'm gonna do that more this year because a lot of things in my life have changed. So now it's like, man, I'm about to really move around. So I'm actually looking for good restaurants, but I really haven't ate at a lot of different places yet.
Joel, do you remember the Mexican place right off of Woodman and North Academy, right over there by Freaky's and right by that sub shop? It used to, I think it was called like Mission or something.
Yeah, Mission Tacos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. That closed down in like 2010 or something like that. That place was phenomenal. Like when I was a kid, I used to love going there. Forever, the only place I'll ever go whenever I fly back. When I came back for the reunion, I had to go. Fargo's Pizza.
There you go. Just like the ambiance of that place.
Anybody who sleeps on Fargo's Pizza is wrong. Like those little pepperonis. Oh, dude.
The pepperoncinis. Like that. Oh, delicious.
I would remember like we'd play like we'd have like the 5 o'clock tilt, or we'd have like the 3 o'clock start. After the game, we were all going to Fargo's because we were right there at Surtage. So it was like, just go right down the road. Screw it.
Yeah.
Easy stuff.
It's all right. So we got the food takes out of the way. We're gonna end the show on a little bit of spice. We already asked Jeremy who his trade candidate is. So Jared, I'm gonna have to ask you the same thing.
Oh, dude, you're asking me? I barely know who's available to be traded in the NHL right now. Oh, Christ. Okay. I actually was looking a little bit. The one guy I really kind of like, because when I was listening to Jeremy, the thing I was kind of noticing, it was a lot of shooting guards and small forwards is what he's picking out, obviously. I would love to get this guy. Is it realistic? No. And the cap hit is too much. Zach LaVine, I think, would be a fun guy to get. But that cap hit is stupid, man.
Yeah, that'll be tough.
I mean, the Nuggets are already deep in the luxury tax anyways. I don't want ticket prices to keep going up like the Avs playoffs ticket prices did. That floated around Twitter, and that was ugly.
It's bad right now. It's bad.
Caruso, I really like too. There was one other that Bev can stay as far away from us as humanly possible. Same with Will Barton.
Please. Yeah, no more Barton, please. We're good.
Yeah, no on the Barton train.
I mean, it's not. I wouldn't say this in like if you get him for the right price. Karis LeVert from Cleveland wouldn't be a half bad one.
Okay. That's not bad.
12.5 points a game, 4 rebounds, 4 assists a game. So you're basically going to ask him to step in and play maybe 12 to 14 minutes a game. It's a serviceable guy at that point. You get him on the right deal, and he's
some big shot ability too. He can especially in those games where like Darius Garland was down for a little while, so was Donovan Mitchell. When he got a chance to really be the focal point of the offense, playing with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, he played really well. He played really, really well. Like he had a couple 30-point games in there. So he has the ability, right? So I would not be mad at Karis LeVert at all.
And I mean, you're just getting a rental, right? So
yeah,
and you're only eating. He's on an 18.8, which they're going to prorate that. So really, you're not going to get too much more hit on the luxury tax, anyways.
Right.
I mean, you package him with Bones and send him to the East. Later, thank you, appreciate you. Yeah. That would probably be the number one that I'd probably look at going after for sure is going to be LeVert.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm not
Good
mad
pick.
at that.
Good pick.
And look at that. The guy who really knows nothing about basketball can come up with something like a half
There
crazy.
you go.
It's crazy,
I
man.
put you
I
on the
like
spot
that.
and you pulled through. I'm so proud of you, man.
Thank you
Very cool.
already having that tab open on Google Chrome. I did want to put this out there really quickly though before Joel closes up, and we give Jeremy a time to plug all of his good stuff. Anybody want to know the average attendance for the Nuggets this year?
It's got to be tops. Like
It's got to be up there, like at least 19,000 or something.
Top 10.
Yeah,
19,082, and you can and it's 19,500 is the capacity.
Wow.
So
that's
they're
wild.
up there.
That is pretty impressive.
If they didn't blow out
it is good to
half
see
of,
that though.
you know, what was it? 360? No, 312. They didn't blow out like half of 312 for media seating. You could probably get more in there.
Yeah, that's
But what-
impressive.
But what do I know? Jeremy, go ahead and plug your stuff. We'll give you a couple minutes here to plug all your good stuff.
Oh no, man, I appreciate you guys. Yeah, so I, obviously here and I usually do my Denver Hoops and Dreams Nuggets podcast. We do 2 shows a week, so we're probably doing 1 show tomorrow, just to recap everything and of course preview that upcoming Timberwolves matchup, and also have a not Denver. I don't know why I'm saying Denver. I have a sports betting show called Take It or Leave It that I do every day throughout the week. Just giving out my favorite picks and everything. And I'll be honest, man, I've been doing all right recently.
Dude,
as of late with my bets.
I've seen some of those shots of what you've been able to put together, and well done,
Man. There, and I actually had one. I did a same game parlay for the Cavs and the Wizards just now, and it was about to, I think, win me a little bit over $600, and I just missed because Darius Garland, who is a passer, he didn't get 8 assists. That's the only thing I just missed on there. I was about to win another 600. So man, that's kind of how it goes. But yeah, those are my 2 shows, man. And one of the cool things, I've been getting some opportunities to work with the BetQL app. So this upcoming Wednesday, I'll actually be hosting their live NBA chat again. This is the second time in 2 weeks because they really liked how I did it the first time. So they were like, hey, please come back up and, talk to the people. It's kind of similar to like what we're doing right now. We're just kind of talking basketball, different things just happening live. And I just love talking like sports betting. So, it's really fun for me. So I'll be doing that this upcoming Wednesday, just through the whole NBA slate that night. But that's about it, man. I find me on Twitter at Jeremy Nicolls. I'm always down to talk some sports in general. So, but I appreciate you guys having me on, man.
Yeah.
Only thing I'm requesting, I need a number for the Avs Penguins. This over unders at 6.5. So I just need to know about Avs Penguins tomorrow night. That's the only thing I'm requesting at this point.
Ooh, you know what? I'm actually going to go with the over. I'm going to go with the over on that. I think I just think it's you guys. I think you guys are just going to go crazy, man. I think it's going to be one of those games where, you guys just score a whole bunch. So we'll see. We shall see. You definitely have the ability. You definitely have the ability because I saw it firsthand, obviously, in the playoffs last year and saw how quickly, I'm still dreading that or remembering that one moment where I'm like, oh, this game is about to go into overtime. And then you guys scored with like 5 seconds left on the
Darren
clock.
Helm against St. Louis game 6.
Listen, man.
4.6 seconds left.
I sat there staring at the TV.
Man.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was like, okay, here we go. Take this to the next period. Nope. That was it. I was like, you really gonna close the door on us like this?
It was slammed.
Yeah, that was tough, man. That was
slammed.
That was tough. But I'm cool with that, man. Listen, like I said, most of my friends are Avs fans, and for me, it's nothing but respect. So I think if my team is gonna lose to anybody, I'm cool with it being the Avs. Just nobody else. Anybody else, I got a problem with it. But the Avs, I'm cool because most people are my friends.
You guys gave us the best fight out of every single team in the West, and it was close to like Tampa Bay's level too. So like respect to you guys as well. Like it's always fun. Do a little trash talk here and there, but.
Yeah, I just wasn't a fan of the whole like the Kadri situation where a lot of like Blues fans were getting a little crazy with that stuff, and when he came back and had that hat trick, I was just like, you know, we kind of deserve this, because when you start talking about a person on that level, a weight, like you're not even talking about hockey anymore. You're talking about this man as a person. And then they take that seriously. Like, come on, you can't do that. That's the one thing that me as a fan, I would never do. I would never overstep that boundary. But yeah, I think we deserved to get whooped on by Kadri that game, man.
It was wild watching that, like, and just the very last thing when he was just doing the, you know, I was just like, yep, like
it happens, man. It's how it works in the world of sports, man. You talk too much, and sometimes you just got to deal with it. So shout out to John Morant. Hey, that's how it works.
Thanks, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But yeah, like to close off, like with my Spicy Bones Highland trade, I guess we'll end it on that. I would like to see them go, like, you know, we don't want to give them to anyone in our division,
right?
So I say we either trade him for a pick, and you sign Kemba Walker for the mid-level exception,
okay,
and you go on a run, because Kemba's a guy that you know can score off the bench. He can cook for himself, and that's really what you need for only 10 minutes a game. So like, I feel like that's like the really quick plug and play option.
Yeah. You don't got to give up. Really, I mean, you can get him for a smile at this point. So I would not be mad at that.
So that's my take on it. You could get into like some 3-team trades and like send Bones somewhere, you know, in Toronto, and get someone from like, you know, the Clippers or Utah or someone. But it's like, I don't know. At that point, it's like I'd rather just take the simple route, and, you know. Or just, you know, it might be smoke and mirrors, and you might still be on the team in a couple days.
Maybe we never know, man.
Yeah.
It could really be just all talk. It really could.
Yeah. But yeah, for those of you tuning in, YouTube, Twitter, and to everyone else who's going to be listening to this on Spotify, Apple, everywhere else where you get your podcasts, thanks so much for tuning in. It's been a blast chopping it up with Jeremy.
Yes,
you know, long time coming indeed. I think it goes back to like the Nuggets start of the playoffs versus, I want to say it was like that Blazers series where you're trying to get something going. And
correct.
So it's been a couple
It's
years.
been a while.
Yeah. So stoked we finally made this happen. From everyone, to everyone listening, again, I'm Joel, joined me by Jared and our awesome guest tonight, Jeremy. So
the 3 J's, man. Hey,
yes,
I'm not mad at that.
I didn't
thank you guys for sure. I appreciate you guys, man. This has been fun.
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah. Anyone have any like last closing thoughts, or we all good?
Go Nuggets, man. That's all I'm gonna say. Go Nuggets.
Go Nuggets. Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.